It had all started with a former president having a bit of fun on a podcast.
Are aliens real?
They're real, but I haven't seen them, and they're not being kept in, what is it?
Area 51?
Area 51. There's no underground facility, unless there's this enormous conspiracy, and they hid it from the President of the United States.
Well, I don't know if they're real or not. I can tell you he gave classified information. He's not supposed to be doing that. He made a big mistake.
Well, President Trump now giving the green light for government files on extraterrestrial life to be released to the public.
Coast of San Diego more than 20 years ago, and testimony from pilots surrounding it.
Are we alone in the universe? The debate over the existence of extraterrestrial life has been raging for many, many years.
The Pentagon says it will work with other agencies to fulfill President Trump's directive to release files related to extraterrestrial life and unidentified aerial phenomena, or UAPs.
And good evening, folks. Welcome back to Undercover ET. How the devil are you guys? Just got back from Tower Bridge, Birmingham, and big shout out to Marcus Cartwright for having me over, for allowing me to do the second interview with him, and just going into a little bit more detail about his accident at work, which, to be honest with you, was insane. I can't believe he's even still walking around on the planet. Over 30 operations, 4 NDEs, 3 in the back of an ambulance, 1 in the hospital, and some crazy stuff happened in between. So guys, I encourage you guys to listen to the interview. It's really good of him to share such a personal story with me and to share it with the world as well. So thank you, Marcus. And guys, you just saw all those news clips. The UAP disclosure is everywhere now. Okay, ever since Obama mentioned it, and he did mention a little bit too much by saying that he believed that they were real. In fact, he didn't believe they were real. His statement was, they're real, but I haven't seen them. And that's where the problem lies, guys, because there's a big difference between saying that you think they're real and saying that they are real. Okay, and I know he tried to backtrack, but he'd already pissed Trump off at that point, and it's always been the plan, I think, for Trump to disclose this year. And if anything, Obama's interview has just prompted him to do it a bit quicker. So this is what's going to happen, guys. It's pretty much confirmation now that this is going to happen, right? It's just a case of what they release. They're going to release quite a bit. I can tell you now they're going to release quite a bit, because they've got whistleblowers coming forward. They've got Congress people coming forward. They know that the secrets are there. They know there's a lot of information that they're holding back, and they can try and drip feed this out as much as they want. But by the end of it, it's going to be lots and lots of data, lots and lots of compelling videos. And who knows, maybe we even get a visitation. Once everyone's consciousness is aware, maybe we'll get an actual visitation, which will be very public. It's on the cards, guys. It is on the cards. Nick Pope. Bless you, Nick. Despite being terminally ill, Nick is continuing his research. He's being asked to do things like write articles, and this is what he's doing. So over to X, Nick Pope says this. If we made contact with aliens, is there a plan? If not, what should such a plan say? The BBC's flagship astronomy publication, Sky at Night magazine, asked me to explore these issues in depth. Here's my article. Let's go. Now look at this first of all. What a fantastic picture of a saucer. I'm not too sure if this is real. Guys, if this is a legit photo, this is the best thing I've seen. The rippling underneath that craft there looks like the real deal. I'm going to enhance it at the end and explain why I think it is. But yeah, now let's have a read of this article, because it is a good read. Published by Nick Pope, February 21st, 2026. What would happen if humanity encountered aliens? Is there a plan? And if not, should we have one? Numerous movies and TV shows feature humanity encountering extraterrestrials. In films such as Independence Day and War of the Worlds, the scenario is always the same, guys: alien invasion. Elsewhere, encounters are more ambiguous and the extraterrestrials are more enigmatic, as we see in movies such as Contact or Arrival movies. But what if any of this happened for real? Over the past few years in the US, the subject of UFOs, or UAPs, Unidentified Anomalous Phenomena, as they are officially designated now, has transitioned from fringe to mainstream. It has indeed. Pretty much since 2017, it was fringe, and then it just changed. As we got closer to 2020, it changed. And that's down to Grush, weaponized, various people that are pushing the topic hard and trying to push evidence as well, albeit grainy evidence. At the same time, if I've learned anything in this world, I've learned that things like this are planned. They are planned in advance. So do I trust anyone coming forward? Not really. Not really. If they've been given permission to talk, it's because they're part of the plan. It's as simple as that, guys. It really is. This resulted from release of photos and videos of UAP taken from various military platforms and led to classified briefings and public hearings in Congress. The Pentagon set up a unit to investigate UAP called the All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office, AARO, which we all know about, and the subject is now being treated as a defense and national security issue, which is really strange because this has been going on for 70 plus years. Why treat it as a defense and national security issue now? Is it to bring it into the public domain? Is that the excuse they're going to use? Or is there a genuine threat now? Who have they pissed off? Many, many questions to be asked. So, are we prepared? All this brings into focus the question of what would happen if we actually found aliens, or if they found us, which I think happened a long, long time ago, guys. It would be the biggest scientific discovery in history, and would likely have profound but difficult to predict effects on every aspect of society, from politics to religion, through science, technology, economy, and philosophy. Anything with a fee on it is going to get affected, right? Individuals would probably react in different ways, some with fear and panic, and others with awe and wonder. Maybe even a little bit of all of the above, actually. You know, if they're genuine human beings and this is brand new to them, it's quite possible they'll experience all of those things. Whilst the SETI Institute authored a document titled The Declaration of Principles Concerning the Conduct of the Search of Extraterrestrial Intelligence, these protocols only cover what to do if a radio signal from another civilization is detected, and the document isn't legally binding in nation states. Beyond this, it's theoretically possible that there's a highly classified government plan, the existence of which is known only to a few key personnel. However, Nick got no hints of any existence of such documents when he handled the UAP desk back in the 1990s, and neither has such a plan been mentioned in any of the congressional hearings since. The nearest Britain came to a plan for making contact with aliens was in 2023, when the Department for Science, Innovation and Technology, DSIT, produced an outline reported titled UK Readiness for Black Swan Scientific Events, Case Study, The Discovery of Life Beyond Earth. So what do we mean by alien? And to be honest, guys, I know where he's going with this. Alien's a very broad term, right? A key problem in devising any plan is the wide range of variables when it comes to alien life. Discovering microbial life in the solar system, for example, would raise other issues of planetary protection. We don't want to be wiped out by some kind of flu. And that's genuine, guys. Like, we don't want to have an alien microbial life come into Earth and actually wipe out the planet or wipe out humanity because it's just bad bacteria or whatever. Detecting a radio signal from another civilization would raise very different issues. We could decipher a message from aliens. Should we reply? What should we say? And who would we be replying to, guys? That's another big question, because we don't want to just be giving away masses of information to someone, especially if they're not the ones talking to us and yet they've picked up the response. So the last question raises the issue of who could truly speak for planet Earth, okay? No political or religious leader could speak for everyone. And whilst a scientist or an academic might be a better choice, what about the billions of people who effectively would have no voice during this time? Who speaks for them? These issues were explored during 2 meetings at Britain's Royal Society held in 2010. The first was titled The Detection of Extraterrestrial Life and the Consequences of Science and Society, and the second, Towards a Scientific and Social Agenda on Extraterrestrial Life. So clearly, guys, over the years, there are organisations, government bodies, little sectors that have thought about this process, you know, somewhat. Here's the fact, guys, right? If we received a signal, we've got 2 options. Ignore it or respond. What can show up for having no response or for having a response? Any number of things could happen, guys. It's up in the air, and this is why these questions need to be asked. So these were multidisciplinary events with participation not only from astronomers and astrophysicists, but from psychologists, anthropologists, pretty much any ologist out there, guys. This was being looked at. It was apparent that religious implications of finding alien life would be profound and potentially controversial in terms of possible challenges posted to faith and doctrine. And look, I'm just going to put this out there, guys. We shouldn't be concerned with what challenges our faith and religion. We just need tangible answers. Because for many, 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 many years, people have been told that this book, whether it be the Quran, the Bible, whichever book it might be, they're told this book is right, this book is right, this book is right. Let's just find out whether we were alone in the first place and what was out there before us. You know, let's start with that before trying to decipher what created us. That's just my opinion. But hey, some philosophers, some people that are looking at this are already trying to work out how they would incorporate such a contact into our lives, into society today. Father Jose Gabriel Funes, a priest who served as a director of the Vatican Observatory, has stated, "How can we rule out that life may have developed elsewhere? Just as we consider earthly creatures as brother and sister, why should we not talk to an extraterrestrial brother? It would still be part of creation. But what if aliens don't come in peace?" Stephen Hawking once warned, "If aliens were to visit us, the outcome would be much as when Columbus landed on America, which didn't turn out well for the Native Americans. This ties in with the dark forest hypothesis, which suggests alien civilizations generally remain silent for fear of encountering a more advanced hostile civilization." Stephen Hawking was an amazing guy, okay, but if there's one thing I disagree on, it's this. Stephen Hawking is describing a hypothesis. If aliens were to visit us, the outcome would be much like when Columbus landed in America and Columbus took over the lands and killed the natives, right? I don't think that would apply to aliens if they're advanced. If they're more advanced than us, I don't think that would apply. Their natural instincts wouldn't be crush, kill, smash, eat. You know, it would be like, oh, hey, how you doing? Maybe we can help each other. I would imagine. So that I can't see this old frame of mind thinking that Stephen Hawking is talking about here, where aliens clearly would be more advanced if they was to get to our planet, right? But at the same time would have this old school mentality. No, just not seeing it. So I'm not really buying that, but I respect the thought process, and the thought process comes from different people like Stephen Hawking, who even take that first step in the first place. That's really important. Let's continue. And so, yeah, this guy here, as Cambridge University paleontologist Professor Simon Conway Morris said at the first Royal Society's meetings, if the cosmic phone rings, don't answer. And I guess that would be the safe option. If you don't answer, nothing will come visit you. But I guess at some point, eventually, whether you like it or not, something will come and visit you. So you've got a choice, answer or don't. The implications could be massive in the most positive way and in the most negative way as well. I think if they thought about it long and hard, they'd realise that the universe is way too big to be conquered by any one race or species. And if they needed materials like minerals or whatever, they could find that on another rock that's not populated, I'm sure. So, you know, logic's got to come into it at some stage, guys. He goes on to say, it's a sobering thought that in the universe nearly 14 billion years old, there might be civilizations a billion years ahead of us. It's not a case of there might be. There will be, guys. There will be. Maybe not billions of years, but millions of years for sure. Science fiction writer Arthur C. Clarke said, any sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic. That is key. And this is why I know, really certain that, guys, the way they're thinking about this is a bit old school. Because these things are already here. They are already moving very unconventionally. And that's how I know they exist, because we don't have anything that moves like that. It is as simple as that, guys. So it's about opening up communications, trying to find out what the hell is going on, and also trying to uncover the secrets that these people in power are ultimately and have been keeping. The secret must go so deep, it's just incredible. Reagan's UN address. The idea that we might encounter hostile extraterrestrials was raised by President Reagan in a 1987 address to the United Nations General Assembly. Towards the end of his speech, he remarked, I occasionally think how quickly our differences worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien threat from outside this world. And it would mean that people would come together in unity, but we don't necessarily need a threat to get to that stage. We don't. If we knew that making contact would mean better lives for everyone on the planet, I guarantee you the world would unify to make that contact happen. I guarantee it. It's just knowing whether that can happen or not, isn't it? Okay, I'm going to end on this one here. Dangers to avoid. If a plan was drawn up and it would have to cover the different possible scenarios, then identify and address risk and opportunities. Risks include the danger of contaminating the biosphere with alien germs or alerting a super predator civilization to our existence by sending a targeted radio signal. Opportunities include discovering what science writer Timothy Ferris calls a galactic internet, a repository of knowledge from other civilizations. This may include information that could solve terrestrial problems such as hunger, disease, and energy needs, though there are risks here too, as advanced technologies may be capable of being weaponized. Guys, you can completely understand the concerns and why maybe this topic didn't come out straight away. You can see how it could go sideways at any moment should the technology be available to us and the information. And you can see why people would take advantage of this as well. This is powerful stuff. But let's be honest, if advantage is being taken of, it's happened already. It's happening right now. So I say, let's release the information. Let's do it in a controlled state. And let's see if we can make the world a better place for having the information as opposed to trying to weaponize it. I think if we can collectively, as a globe, get on that bandwagon, I think we'll do just fine. Okay, guys, let's do the enhancement of this pic, and I'll leave it there. Now, look at this, guys. This is, do you know what? This could be a legit saucer. Just looking at this, the detail on it's amazing. Now, this ripple under here, the rippling on the bottom of the saucer here, this is legit. This is legit. From what I understand, from what people are saying, people I trust, when they've either been on board these craft or they've seen these craft or managed to touch these craft, and I can only tell you from remote viewers' experience, from what I've been told, guys, this is like it's almost like a jelly that they're stood on. Okay, it's not a solid ground. It is like a jelly. Apparently the floor was very wobbly to touch, and same with the rest of the craft, you know. So I would not be surprised at all, guys, if this was a genuine UAP, if this is a genuine photo of a saucer. I would not be surprised at all. It's got the top hat look. It looks like there's no rivets at all, and you've got this swirly motion underneath the craft there. Looks really, really good. Now look, I'm not saying it's real. I'm just saying this is what I would fully expect to see if a saucer was to come close enough to us that we would see detail on it, guys. So let me know your thoughts in the comments. And guys, we're going to leave it there. So thank you so much. Like and subscribe. As always, we do need your support. Support public disclosure. Support all the evidence that's been coming in. And support all the future evidence which is bound to come in this year. Thank you so much, guys. Take care. All the best. And I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye for now.